Pleased to be partnering with the Kamuela Philharmonic Orchestra, and we have guests from that ensemble tonight with us. This is Crosswinds Trio, and if you can stand and introduce yourself.
Actually, I'll talk about that a little bit.
Oh, you will?
Yes.
Okay.
And everything,
Yes. Okay, wonderful, thank you.
I'll tell you a little bit about that in a second, but we are Crosswinds Trio. And I had somebody outside ask me before, where did you get the name Crosswinds Trio? It's because there's three of us. Pretty good, you're a lot faster than the Presbyterian Church. So that was a piece called Clarinet Marmalade. And for me, it's kind of a special piece. I usually like to play that to start off a program. It's because when I was a kid, my mother used to buy these Al Hurt records. If you don't know who he was a great trumpet player. And she used to play Clarinet Marmalade all the time of his recording. So then she bought me a book, and it had all of the Al Hurt solos in it. So I would sit there and practice. How was that, Mom? Keep working on it, you'll get it. Keep working on it, you'll get it. So I go through my whole life, and we had a trio, and I did an arrangement of it. And I was really excited. I had my mom come out to see the concert. We played it, and I said, "What'd you think?" She says, "Keep working on it."
Bless her heart.
So we're going to get into our Christmas program, and what we've done here is try to do things that are not the same, so where we just come up and play a bunch of Christmas tunes. We try to do them different, make them interesting, and probably play some that you didn't know. Some of them you'll probably say that we didn't know either, but that's another story. So the first piece is called Masters in This Hall. Anybody ever hear of that carol before? It's not one that I knew. It was actually written in like the 1800s. It was written for an opera called Alcyone, something like that. And it's not an opera I would have ever seen. And then it was taken in 1860 by a guy by the name of William Morris, not the William Morris Agency in New York, but 1860. And he felt that he knew a lot about Christmas. So he changed the words, and then it became a carol. So when I heard it, it's really a cool tune. And so we're going to play an arrangement of it for now. It's kind of, I guess, a 12/8 kind of 3 feel. So we'll see if you like it. This is Masters in This Hall. as I said, we're going to try to do things that are different, songs you know, but that are not the usual kind of ways they play. So one of the things we have with the trio is we're all from different backgrounds. Dale and Jessica are more from classical backgrounds, I'm more from the jazz background. So we had to kind of figure out how to do the music, what we were going to do. So what we did was I had the trio initially in New Jersey, which is where I'm from. And we did what all groups do, is we looked up all the music for trumpet, French horn, and piano, ordered it, played it all through, and both pieces were terrible. So we figured, okay, we'll just write our own stuff and do them the way we want to. So this next piece, In God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, is taking the song as we know it, doing it Latin, but with using a lot of jazz harmonies. So this is God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. I'd also like to make an announcement that we are an apolitical group. And I only mention that is because one of the concerts we did last week, I was coming in and I had this person yelling at me. And I tried to figure out why, and then I realized I play the trumpet. Anyway. I have a lot more, folks, so get used to it. Now to do something completely different, we're now going to go to Mexico and do a tune called Alamita Nana. And it's just a children's carol. And it's another, like a totally different style than what we just did. And it's kind of just fun to play. Alamita Nana. my friend who was actually the French horn player I played with in New Jersey. And this is really interesting. If I play this for you, you've all heard that before. So here's where it came from. It actually came from the Ukraine. And it was like 100 years ago. And it was written not for a carol. It was written for New Year's Eve. And it sounds different. In fact, you'll hear it when we play it. So instead of, we have this. So it's really different. And then what happened was, this song was being played in the Ukraine, and it was brought over by, I forgot what his name was, but he ran the NBC Orchestra in the 1930s, and then he brings the song over, and then somebody just put words to it about bells, Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas in it, and it became what it is today, which is what you hear for commercials all the time. So that's kind of where the song developed. So this is the original arrangement, or the original way that they played Carol of the Bells. This is a tribute to the Ukraine. See, it was also written when they were fighting for freedom back then, so things never change. When we think of Christmas, when you're walking in the stores, there is something that you hear being played almost all the time, and I can ask Dale just to play a little tiny bass line, and everybody will know what that is. Yes. Just play the left hand.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that that's Charlie Brown. Who could tell me who wrote the music for that? And who played it? No? He did it later. I should just say that's correct, and this the one that played it. Actually, Vince Guaraldi's the one that played it. He wrote quite a few of their TV shows, and like for my generation, that's what I grew up with, and you just hear it all the time for like 2 or 3 months. Now it probably starts in August. So we're going to do a medley from there. The first one is a Skater's Waltz. And you go, I don't know the Skater's Waltz. You will. It's something you've heard many times. And then it also has Christmas Time Is Here, which Vince Guaraldi was a really great jazz piano player, and his harmonies in these tunes are really fun to listen to. And then the last one, the Charlie Brown one, which is what Dale just played, and that goes through, we took that arrangement from the Piano Guys. Does anybody even hear? If you want to hear a really interesting group, the Piano Guys is a piano and a cellist. Now, as a brass player, you couldn't pay me to go see a piano and a cello. But I've gone to see them like about 10 times. It's really innovative what they do just with the two guys. And they did an arrangement for this. They're kind of known for taking more than one piece of music and imposing it on other pieces of music at the same time. And it's usually pieces of music that have nothing to do with each other. So when you listen to the last one, you'll hear some other songs in there. This is I think it's kind of a tribute to Charlie Brown Christmas. First, I'd like to just make a reminder that we are through the Kamuela Philharmonic, which we have concerts over at the theater here in Waimea. And then it's also done through a grant that's from the county. So basically, if you liked what you heard, you let us know. And if you don't like it, talk to Jennifer. So on the horn solo on there is Jessica Dalkey. Jess is a principal in a school in Hawaii, and so she's got a very tough job. I was a teacher for 35 years, so I know what she goes through there. And we also, my name's Gary Ross, and this is Dale Ross, no relation. She finds it important for some reason for me to always say that we're not related. But she was a prosecutor, so maybe some of you have met her. Wait, what's the next song? Oh, yes. Now for something completely different. So, Gustav Holst was a great composer. And I think about the things he did, like for band and things that I played throughout my life. And this song, I just love what he did. He just made a great song, In the Bleak Midwinter, which we hear every Christmas time. And it's just a great song. And then Dale had found a really nice arrangement that has a lot of jazz harmonies and just kind of changes the way that the flow, instead of just playing the tune, just kind of makes it a little more interesting. So this is In the Bleak Midwinter. Which we don't have here, which is why I... There was a calabash in the back. None of that goes to us, 100% goes to the orchestra, unless no one sees me taking it out. That's another story. Another one we're going to do, this kind of reminds me of, I like the things that I kind of grew up with. I told you my mother playing the Al Hurt records. She also would play Herb Alpert all the time. And this next arrangement, Good Christians Rejoice, kind of reminds me of that kind of sound that he had back in the 60s and the 70s. So this is All Good Christians Rejoice. So there's a hymn that's probably a lot of churches will sing tomorrow. Let all flesh be silent, mortal flesh keep silence. And it's a great hymn. And I found this piano arrangement of this version of it, that it's just like a slow kind of a bluesy thing on that hymn. So the harmonies are really different than what you normally hear. And then we kind of flew around with the three of us to try to make it more in string with some improvisation in it. So let all mortal flesh keep silence.
Just as a chance to give us a little bit of a break from the brass playing, Dale and I happen to be the musicians at the Lutheran Church, and so this is the song that we're going to do tomorrow. So it's just a chance for us to get an extra chance to practice.
Journey that led so far.
I wish I could sing. And I had taken lessons because I figured I'm a musician. I might take lessons and you practice. It's kind of what you did. So I took lessons, voice lessons for a little while from a professor at college. And then after a month, he refunded me my money. That's a true story. He says, I'm going to do you a favor. Don't waste your time. And seriously. But I tried even after that, and there's one thing that's involved that I don't think about sometimes, and that's talent. So I didn't have any there, but fortunately I just love playing trumpet, and so that's been a part of my life, just as their instruments have been part of their life. In fact, doing this has been a real blessing for us, because especially during the pandemic, I mean, there was nothing, and I had just moved here, and I was a teacher for 35 years, and then my wife and I always wanted to do our retirement here, and then all of a sudden there was no music work. So we're very fortunate that it's come back, and I'm fortunate for you folks to want to go out on a Saturday night and listen to us play. So thank you very much for coming. And we have two basic pieces left on the program. The first one is We Three Kings, which is another piano guy's arrangement, except it's got some odd time signatures that are happening in it, and Joy to the World. you have to cite it there because no one's ever asked for a piece.
Crosswinds Trio for driving all the way up to North Kohala. We are so glad to have you come back again sometime soon. Thank you to Sandra Tran, who helped to negotiate and get all of this to happen here. We have more concerts coming in order December 11th is a Wednesday, and we'll have a sing-along, Christmas Carol sing-along in Walker Hall. On December 15th, we will have Susan Pomerantz Richards. This is Peter Pomerantz's sister. She is going to sing popular music from the 1950s through the 1990s. She's wonderful. She sang on tour playing Sandra from Greece with John Travolta. She's incredible. You won't want to miss that. On January 12th, we will have another ensemble.
I'll be back at that.
Oh, it's wonderful, wonderful. That will be a woodwind quintet.
With a hornet, yeah.
With a hornet, yes. And they will play all kinds of classical music.
Yes.
We are very much looking forward to that. And more music to come. This is our Tiny Church concert series, and we are collaborating with Music to Go. And we are so pleased that you are all here. Please be generous with the calabash to fund both the Kamuela Philharmonic Orchestra and to help to take care of our beautiful piano, which was generously donated by the DeVries family. And I think that Kieran's wife are here. So thank you so much.